Hey, what's up? All right, so we got a problem today called can form array. All right, this is Leetcode problem 1640. Wow, they've got quite a few of them now. I remember when there were only a few hundred way back in the day, which is like 3 years ago. So back in the day in the uh, software age, right? So this is an easy problem, right? Let's see how easy it is, and we will now go through it. Looks like 171 likes to 44 dislikes. I'm not exactly sure what the dislikes, how they gauge what they are. I have to read through the Leetcode forum to find out if people disliking Leetcode problems are actually objectively criticizing them, or they have some other issue. So let's see what it says. You're given you're given an array of distinct integers ARR and an array of integers pieces, where the integers and pieces are distinct. Your goal is to form AAR by concatenating the arrays and pieces in any order. However, you're not allowed to reorder the integers in each array pieces. Okay, so let's start there before we get to the second part, which is the return condition. So you have an array and you have an array of arrays, right? The first array is just an array of integers, so that's a 1D flat array of integers. The second array is a 2D array, where every second array, internal array, is just a flat array of integers as well. So the idea is to add all these integers together, or concatenate these integers in such a way that and the pieces are distinct, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind. That distinct, that word is highlighted, right? Your goal is to form an array by concatenating the arrays and pieces in any order. However, you're not allowed to reorder the integers in each array pieces. All right. So my first thought is that I had something a little tricky, nifty in mind to do this. Let's see if it works, right? So I want to so the whole thing here is that you want to add these pieces together. Like, for example, this is a good example here. So the pieces 78, 4 comma 64, and 91 can somehow be put together like 91, then 464, and then 78 to make this final output array right here, 91, 4, 678. Okay, so there's probably a ton of ways you can do this. So I just thought of a little tricky way that I wanted to do this. And this is an example, a negative case, which is false, because even though this array has all the same integers, because the order is different and you can't reorder the integers, you can't, there is no way to form the ARR value, right? Because it's just a reordered set of one of the pieces, and you can't break them up. You can't break up any of the pieces, and you can't reorder them. So therefore, this will not equal this. So what can you do? So first thing that comes to mind, and I imagine that there could be some sorting involved here. There could be some efficient searching, but I wanted to try this, right? So let me go over. Let me do. So the first thing I want to do is I want to convert, and this might seem like a little bit of a hacky solution to some people, but I want to convert the array to a string, right? So I'm going to call it pieces array. Okay, pieces r equals r, and replace, right? You might be wondering why I'm doing this. So I'm replacing the values of the brackets. When you convert a list to a string, you get the brackets as well in Python, right? So you get the square brackets. So I'm replacing all the brackets, and this is a 1D array, right? Uh, with blanks, right? So if I was to actually print it out and run it, right? If I was to print pieces array, r, right? Let's take, for instance, This is a one of the more complex nested examples, right? Test case, and let's just say we'll start with this guy right here, right? This is the first array, and then this is the pieces array. Okay, so I want to take this array and replace it, and what I would get is just the numbers by themselves. Okay, right? All right. So second thing I wanted to do, now I want to iterate through the pieces array, right? Pieces, for piece in pieces, if piece in pieces, right? If piece in not in pieces are, if piece not in pieces are, right, return false. And once we break out of that loop, if we've passed every iteration, then we return true. So basically, and we want to say if string pieces not in pieces are, right? Let's try it. So basically, wrong answer. Okay, let's try that again. Why would we get the wrong answer? Because replace. Remember, we want to, each of the pieces is a list, so we want to replace the brackets in the list so we get the raw numbers, right? And so, oops. Another one of these. So, bam, true. Okay, let's try another case right here. Ooh. My gut feeling says this will be true as well. True. And obviously this is going to be false, but just for completion sake, we want to be thorough, and I will say, and this will be predictably false. So you see it matches. Now watch what happens when I submit this. I'm going to hit this. Okay, so why am I hitting this? All right, you see 1, right? Even when I get rid of the brackets, when I get rid of the brackets, 1, what's left over from this piece, the iteration 1 is contained in the original pieces array because it's part of 12. Now, how do I make sure that this number, right, any of the pieces, I'm actually not digging into, I'm not capturing capturing a single digit of one of the other answers. So the thing is to really delimit the piece, right? And that can be done pretty easily because, as you notice, when you look at an array, what naturally delimits each of these pieces? Commas, right? So if I add another comma here, right, and then I add another comma here, I bet you this case will work out. And for those of you who are watching this video, you saw that I did this before a little. I mean, you could tell from the test case, but the whole point is we learn, right? So, and false, the test case was correct. Now let's try running it, and I bet you, there you go. 44 milliseconds faster than 54.1% of the examples, and 14.2 megabytes less than 46.7% of Python. So Python 3 online submissions. So now here's the deal. Like, this was a little hacky, right? I mean, there are other ways to do this. This was like the first way that came to my mind when I saw this, and I like doing stuff like this, but I don't know if this would pass an interviewer's muster, right? So for now, keep on coding, and let's try one day to come up with a better solution. All right.